My husband is a monster. He almost destroyed my life. Every scar reminds me of the pain. Today I thank God he is gone. But now I'm left to take care of my children alone. If God touches your heart to support us, I'll forever be grateful. God bless you all.
The first time Monerike lied on TikTok, she almost deleted the video. She had recorded it 3 times before finally posting it. Each time, she looked into the camera. A small voice inside her kept telling her to stop. But Monerike had stopped listening to that voice a long time ago.
This is True Tales by MK, where every story has a purpose and a lesson. Sit back and relax, let's enjoy this story.
At 29 years old, there was only one thing she wanted: fame. Not ordinary fame, the kind that made people stop scrolling, the kind that attracted thousands of comments, the kind that brought brand deals, expensive gifts, and admiration from strangers. Every morning, she sat in her apartment in Ajah, Lagos, watching other TikTok influencers become overnight celebrities. Some had started with nothing. Yet, within months, they were buying cars, moving into luxury apartments, signing endorsement deals, and traveling abroad. Monerike wanted that life more than anything else, but she remained stuck.
Whenever she posted normal content, nobody cared. Nobody shared it. Nobody commented. Nobody followed. Most of her videos struggled to reach a few hundred views. It drove her crazy. She spent hours studying successful creators. What exactly were they doing differently? Why did people pay attention to them? Then she noticed something. The videos that attracted the most attention were usually emotional. People loved pain. People loved tragedy. People loved stories that made them cry. The more heartbreaking the story, the more engagement it received. Then, suddenly, something dangerous entered her mind. When her husband Tunde returned from work that night, he was carrying a takeout of Morenike's food, which he gave to her, but she seemed uninterested. The journey through Lagos traffic had drained him, but he still tried to bring warmth into the house. Lately, however, it felt like he was living with someone who cared more about social media than real life. For months, Morenike had become increasingly distant. Always online, always chasing trends, always talking about followers. Everything revolved around followers. During dinner, she barely spoke. Her attention remained fixed on her phone. When they went to bed, she was still scrolling. When Tunde woke up the next morning, she was still scrolling. 3 days later, she created a secret TikTok account. She used a different name. She removed every trace of her real life. Then she blocked her husband. She blocked his friends. She blocked his relatives. She blocked anyone who might expose her. After that, she bought professional makeup. Not for beauty, but for deception. For 2 hours, she sat before a mirror watching tutorials on special effects makeup. By afternoon, dark bruises appeared on her arm. Another bruise appeared near her eye. They looked frighteningly real. She stared at herself. Even she almost believed it. Then, she placed her phone in front of her and pressed record. Tears filled her eyes instantly. Not because she was sad, but because she had rubbed a little menthol close to them.
My name is Morenike. I lost my husband 3 months ago. Her voice trembled. He was an abusive partner, but I stayed because of my kids. Many people think death ended my suffering. She sniffed loudly. But the scars are still here. She raised her arm and revealed the fake bruises. I have been struggling alone to raise my children. She lowered her head. I don't know how much longer I can survive. Please, family, come to my aid. By the time she ended the video, even she was impressed by her performance. Her heart raced as she stared at the screen. Then she posted it. Nothing happened for several hours. Only a few views. She almost gave up. Suddenly, her phone exploded with notifications, comments, likes, shares, followers, thousands of them. The numbers kept rising. By midnight, the video had crossed 100,000 views. By the following morning, it was approaching 500,000. People were furious, not at her, but at the imaginary husband she had invented. Women flooded her comment section with sympathy, cursing her husband.
Many shared their own painful experiences. Others called her brave, strong, inspiring, a survivor. For the first time in her life, Morenike felt important. The attention was intoxicating. She wanted more. The next day, she posted story time on how her dead husband abused and also cheated on her. Each lie became bigger than the last. She claimed her husband locked her outside at night. She claimed he beat her while she was pregnant and she miscarried. She claimed he controlled her finances. She claimed he isolated her from friends. She even claimed he nearly killed her on several occasions. Every story was false. Every word was invented. But people believed her. The views kept increasing, the followers kept increasing. People started contributing money for her and her imaginary kids. At first, it was small amounts, 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira. Then, larger donations followed. Some followers sent 100,000 naira for children's school fees. Others sent her money for her house rent. They even contributed money for her to start up a small business. The money flowed constantly. Morenike could hardly believe it. She was earning more from lies than most people earned from honest work. Soon, brands began contacting her. Hair vendors, clothing vendors, cosmetic businesses reached out to her for promotions. She accepted every opportunity that came her way. Within a year, she had become one of the most talked about women in her niche. Many of her followers genuinely believed she was helping women heal from abuse. What made the situation worse was that Morenike actively encouraged resentment toward men. In many of her videos, she painted men as naturally cruel and dangerous. She constantly reminded her audience of the abuse she claimed to have suffered. She started teaching them how to leave their marriages and make their husbands single fathers so that they will feel the pain of single parenting. Thousands of women listened to her and executed all her teachings. Many believed every word. Some began repeating her views. Others praised her for exposing the truth about men. The larger her platform grew, the more influential she became. But Morenike was no longer satisfied with donations alone. She wanted more. One evening, she announced a new project. A WhatsApp group called Strong Single Mothers of Lagos, where they will be supporting each other. The response was overwhelming. Hundreds of women joined immediately. Most of the women were genuine single mothers. Some were widows, others had been abandoned by irresponsible men. Many were struggling financially. They trusted Morenike completely. To them, she was one of them. She claimed to understand their pain, their suffering, their challenges. Soon, she introduced monthly dues. According to her, the money would be used to support struggling members. Nobody objected. Every month, each member paid the sum of 20,000 naira faithfully. The money entered Morenike's account. Very little of it went to helping anyone, while she uses the rest to fund her lifestyle. New phones, expensive wigs, designer handbags, fancy restaurants, weekend outings. Yet, on TikTok, she continued acting like a struggling widow. Every day, she uploaded videos from carefully selected corners of her apartment. She made sure nobody saw signs of luxury. She made sure nobody saw her husband. For nearly 2 years, the deception worked perfectly. Then, one Saturday afternoon, everything changed. A woman named Bisola, who was also a member of Strong Single Mothers of Lagos, traveled from Ibadan to Lagos for a family event. Bisola was 34 years old, a single mother of one whom her husband had abandoned years earlier. Life had not been easy.
That was why she admired Morenike so much. She believed every story. She defended her constantly online. She even paid group dues faithfully every month. After attending her event, Bisola stopped at Novari Mall in Sangotedo to buy a few things. She was walking through the supermarket when she suddenly froze. A familiar face stood ahead. She looked again, then again. It was Morenike. At first, Bisola smiled. She almost walked over to greet her.
Then she noticed something strange. A man stood beside Morenike like a husband, like a partner, like someone who belonged there. The man pushed the trolley while Morenike laughed at something he said. A few moments later, he casually placed an arm around her shoulder and kissed her forehead. Bisola stopped breathing. Her mind immediately rejected what she was seeing. No, that was impossible. Morenike was a widow. Her husband was supposed to be dead. That was what she told everyone. Yet here she was, laughing, shopping, holding hands with a living man. Bisola quietly stepped behind a shelf and removed her phone. She started recording and took some photos. Everything was clear. Everything was visible. There could be no mistake. For almost 20 minutes, she watched them shop together. Eventually, they paid and left. The man opened the car door for Morenike. She entered and the car drove away. Bisola remained standing there long after they disappeared. Her hands were shaking. She felt sick. Not because Morenike was married, but because she had lied to thousands of women, including women who genuinely suffered. That night, Bisola could not stop thinking about what she had seen. She opened WhatsApp and sent one of the photographs to Morenike. A few seconds later, Morenike came online. The moment she saw the picture, her heart almost stopped. She knew she had been caught. For nearly 2 years, she had carefully hidden her husband from the internet. She had lied that he was dead. She had falsely accused him of physically abusing her. To gain even more sympathy, she had also told the internet she was raising children alone as a widowed single mother. But the truth was even worse. They did not even have children. Everything had been carefully planned to attract pity, followers, and money. Instead of denying it, Morenike immediately began begging. She admitted that the man in the picture was her husband and he has never abused her. She pleaded with Bisola not to expose her. She promised to explain everything and swore she would never lie again. But Bisola was too angry to listen. She reminded Morenike that thousands of women had trusted her because they believed every heartbreaking story she told, because they thought she truly understood the pain of being a widow and a single mother.
Seeing that her apologies were not working, Morenike became even more desperate. She offered Bisola 500,000 naira if she agreed to keep everything a secret. The offer only made Bisola angrier. She could not believe that after deceiving so many innocent people, Morenike still believed money could buy her silence. Without replying again, Bisola ignored every message that followed, her mind already made up. The following morning, Morenike woke up with a terrible feeling, the kind of feeling people get when something is about to go terribly wrong. The moment she picked up her phone, notifications began flooding in, one after another.
Her screen was filled with TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram notifications. Her heart began to race. She quickly opened TikTok. The first video she saw was posted by Bisola. The thumbnail showed her and Tonde shopping together, holding hands, smiling, looking every bit like a happily married couple. Morenike felt the world spin around her. Her fingers trembled as she tapped on the video. As it began to play, she realized her entire life was collapsing before her eyes. For a few seconds, Morenike could not breathe. She sat frozen on the bed in the master bedroom of their apartment in Aja, staring at her phone. Bisola had posted everything. The videos from the supermarket, the photographs, the screenshots of their WhatsApp conversation, even the messages where Morenike begged her not to expose the truth. The post had only been online for a short time, yet it was already spreading across TikTok at an unbelievable speed. Every time she refreshed the page, the views doubled. Thousands of comments poured in. People who had once defended her were now demanding answers. Many wanted their donations back. Others apologized to the innocent man they had spent 2 years insulting. Some could not believe that the woman they admired had built her entire platform on lies. Morenike's heart pounded as she scrolled through the comments.
This woman made us hate an innocent man. So her husband has been alive all this time? She even lied that she had children and we donated money for their school fees. Return every kobo people donated for you, you scammer. So all the scars and bruises on her body were fake? Wonders shall never end. This woman is so heartless and evil. She lied against her husband just for content. Her breathing became heavier. She tried calling Bisola repeatedly, but every call was rejected. Moments later, Bisola blocked her completely. Within an hour, the story had spread beyond TikTok. It was everywhere. It was on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and X. Popular blogs picked it up. Content creators began reacting to it. People stitched her old videos with the new evidence, exposing one lie after another. The fake bruises, the fake tears, the false stories of domestic violence, the imaginary children she claimed she was raising alone. Everything was falling apart. Morenike switched off her phone.
A few minutes later, she switched it back on again, hoping somehow everything had disappeared. It had only become worse. That same afternoon, Tunde was at work in the logistics company in Victoria Island when his colleagues sitting in the same office started looking at him strangely. One of them showed him a video on his phone. "Bro, is this your wife?" he asked. Confused, Tunde opened one of the videos. As he watched, the color slowly drained from his face. He saw photographs of himself and Morenike shopping together at Novare Mall. Then he saw one of her old TikTok videos. She was crying as she described an abusive husband who never existed. She claimed he tortured her. She claimed she was finally free after his death. The comments underneath were filled with insults and curses directed at him. He watched another video, then another. Every accusation was worse than the previous one. She claimed he beat her even when she was pregnant and she miscarried. She claimed he nearly killed her. She also claimed she was raising their children alone because of him. None of it was true. They did not even have children, yet millions of people believed every word. Tunde slowly dropped his phone. The office suddenly felt too small. His colleagues looked at him with pity, but nobody knew what to say.
Without saying much, he finished what he was doing, packed his bag and left for home. The drive back to Ajah felt longer than usual. He drove in complete silence. No music, no radio. Just the sound of traffic and the painful thoughts running through his mind. For 6 years, he had loved Morenike. He had trusted her completely. Never for one day had he imagined she would use his name to become famous. She had buried him while he was still alive. She had turned him into an abusive husband in the minds of millions of strangers. She had made innocent people hate him for things he had never done. By the time he got home, the disappointment hurt far more than the anger. Morenike heard the gate open. She knew immediately that he had seen everything. When Tunde entered the house, he quietly placed his keys on the table and sat down without saying a word. The silence was unbearable. After several minutes, Morenike finally broke down.
Tunde, please, I can explain.
Explain what? That you told millions of people I was dead? He backed. You accused me of domestic violence. Tunde, please. I needed content, Morenike blurted out. The moment those words left her mouth, she wished she could take them back. Tunde stared at her, unable to believe what he had just heard. You needed content? Seriously? You sacrificed my reputation for your stupid content? He questioned angrily. Morenike admitted that everything had started because she wanted views. She never imagined it would grow into something so big.
She apologized repeatedly and begged him to forgive her. Tunde listened quietly. When she finished, he looked at her with eyes full of pain. For 2 years, for 2 whole years, you told the whole world I was dead. You accused me of beating you. You made people hate me for crimes I never committed. Tell me, at any point, did you stop to think about what this would do to me if the truth ever came out? Monike lowered her head. She had no answer, because the truth was painful. She had never thought about him. She had only thought about fame, about followers, about money, about becoming the next big influencer. That night, neither of them slept. Morenike's apologies kept coming, but they no longer meant anything. If Bisolara had not exposed the truth, Morenike knew she would still be making the same videos. The following morning, Morenike walked into the living room and immediately stopped. 2 packed suitcases stood beside the front door. Tunde was already dressed for work. He looked exhausted, like someone who had aged several years overnight. Morenike burst into tears and begged him not to send her away. She promised to delete every account. She promised to return every donation. She promised to leave social media forever. But Tunde had already made his decision. He looked at her calmly. You spent 2 years convincing the world you were a widowed single mother, and they believed it. From today, you can live the life you worked so hard to create. He picked up the suitcases and placed them outside the front door. I cannot stay married to someone who destroyed my name just to become famous. I deserve some peace. You chose popularity over this marriage, so this marriage is officially over. Morenike fell to her knees, crying uncontrollably. She begged until her voice became hoarse. The neighbors had already begun peeping through their windows after hearing the commotion. Some recognized her immediately. They had seen the trending videos. The shame was unbearable. Morenike cried and begged for a second chance, but it was already too late. Something had broken, and sometimes broken things cannot be repaired. Tunde looked away, unable to watch her cry, because despite everything, he had once loved her deeply. Maybe a part of him still did, but love without trust cannot survive. And trust was gone. He entered his car and zoomed off. Morenike remained outside with her suitcases, crying as people walked past and whispered to one another. Within days, brands cancelled their partnerships with her. The women in her WhatsApp group demanded refunds. Many publicly apologized to Tunde after realizing he had been falsely accused. Her followers disappeared almost as quickly as they had come. The fame she had sacrificed everything to achieve vanished overnight. In the end, Morenike finally became what she had pretended to be for 2 years. Not because her husband died, not because life treated her unfairly, but because her own greed, lies, and hunger for fame destroyed the marriage she already had. She had gone online looking for sympathy. Instead, she became a warning, a reminder that fame built on deception never lasts, and that one lie told for attention can destroy a life that took years to build. No amount of fame, money, or online attention is worth destroying your integrity. A lie may attract sympathy for a while, but the truth always catches up. Build your life on honesty, because trust, once broken, is one of the hardest things to restore. What do you think? Did Tunde make the right decision by sending Morenike away, or should he have forgiven her? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more emotional Nigerian stories every week.